Hi, it's Councilman Goode of the 1st and 4th Ward, and it's story time with me right here in my home. Most of you already know the reason why we are reading virtually from my home is because of the pandemic. We are socially distancing ourselves, but we can still have story time until things change. So I'm asking that you please remain safe by social distancing, wearing your mask, washing your hands, and using hand sanitizer. So let's get started, and thanks for joining me today. Our story today, and let me also say Happy Black History Month, and this is our first story for Black History. So I'm hoping you're going to be able to join me for every segment this month in honorship of Black History Month. So let's get started with our story. And our story today is Kamala and Maya's Big Idea. Kamala and Maya's Big Idea. You know what should be done out there? Kamala asked her sister Maya. Yes, said Maya. A slide, said Kamala. And a swing, Maya added. A playground, they shouted together. Kamala and Maya had an idea. It was a very good idea and a very big idea. They were going to need lots of help. Wouldn't it be great if there was a playground in the courtyard? Maya said. That does sound nice, Mommy agreed. How can we make this happen? Kamala asked. Well, I suppose the first step would be to ask the landlord, the person who owns the building. So Kamala wrote a letter and Maya drew a picture, and they went to see the landlord to discuss their idea that they both had. The landlord thought about it for a second and said, I don't think so. No. That was not the answer that they wanted, but they weren't ready to give up just yet. That night, the sisters tried to think of a way to turn a no into a yes. They asked the other kids in the building if they wanted a playground in the courtyard. Did they? Of course they did. And they had other ideas too. Let's have a teeter-totter and a basketball hoop, and how about some flowers? So Kamala wrote a long letter. They went to see the landlord together, and the letter read, Dear landlord, right now the courtyard of our building is empty, and no one uses it. If there were swings, kids could fly high. If there was a sandbox, kids could build. If there was a slide, kids could go so far and so fast. Can you build it, please? The landlord thought about it for a second, less than 5 seconds. A project this big is expensive, and we just simply don't have the money for that. Do your parents know you're here? This was not the answer that they wanted, but Kamala was not ready to give up. If we ask our parents, and they do it all ourselves, we can fix up the courtyard. The landlord thought about it for a while, 10 seconds. Finally, he shrugged. If you can do it yourselves, sure. Because we can get our parents to do it, Maya said. This wasn't really exactly the answer that they wanted, but it was a start. The kids all spoke to their parents about their ideas for the courtyard. They hung up posters and knocked on all the neighbors' doors. But they got the same answer from everyone. I'm sorry. Wow, this is a very big job. I wish I could help. Which they knew meant no, no, and another no. But then Mr. Green stopped by. I work construction and I could maybe get some scrap lumber and some sand for a sandbox. Really, Kamala said? Yes, exclaimed Maya. Okay, I'll try. It wasn't a yes, but right now maybe was the sweetest word that they ever heard. Maybe gave them hope. The next weekend maybe turned into yes. The kids all helped measure, and Mr. Green cut the boards. Excuse me. Then they sanded and they hammered and they sanded some more, and then came the actual sand. They were all thanking Mr. Green. When Ms. Lopez stopped and talked, I worked at a garage. Maybe they have an extra tire for a teeter-totter. Another maybe. In the weeks they followed, lots of I don't knows, and they all turned into maybes and yeses. Look at that. For a no, this really turned out pretty well, didn't it? No one could do everything, but everyone could do something. Kamala and Maya wanted everyone to celebrate the new playground, so they made another big poster inviting their neighbors to a potluck party. There were hot dogs and hummus, spicy chicken, potato salad, strawberries, brownies, and even lemonade. Mrs. Flores set up a sprinkler for the kids to run through, and Mr. Green, he brought all the music. I guess you can say he was the DJ. Kamala admired the new playground, but she noticed there was still one thing missing. No one knew how to make a slide, but Miss Flores knew where they might buy one. I teach at Emerson Elementary, and they are redoing their playground. Maybe we could buy the old slide that they had. This was a different kind of maybe. How can we afford that maybe? But now everyone was trying to find a way to turn that maybe into a yes. These brownies are delicious. Maybe we could have a bake sale. We could all bring toys and books and have a sidewalk sale too. Now they're really starting to think. No one could do everything, but everyone could contribute to something. Look at that, the lemonade, the brownies, and they're having a little sidewalk sale. You know why? Because they definitely want that slide. When the slide arrived at last, Maya and Kamala got the first ride. The landlord was so impressed. I want to shake your hands, girls, he said. You did such a good job. You all did a good job. Kamala and Maya had an idea. It was a very good idea and a very big idea. And with a lot of help, they made that idea happen. Hooray for Kamala and Maya. Hooray for the Per sisters. What's next, Kamala? Kamala, looking up, said, I'm wondering what the view is like from the roof. The end. So, Kamala and Maya had an idea, and once they realized that they needed some help, they reached out to the neighbors, they reached out to their parents, and other people in the neighborhood throughout the city that helped bring their idea into a reality. So, never give up. Turn your no's into yeses. I'm Councilman Barry Goode, and thank you for joining me today, and I hope to see you again real soon on this Black History Month for the different books that we will be reading. Stay safe, be blessed, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much.